Hey, everybody out there. Well, I hope y'all are doing fine. It seems like most half the country's covered in snow. I know we got about 6 or 8 inches here, so inside building baits all day long, and thankful to have the time to do it because, man, y'all have bought so many spinner baits. I'm so far behind I can't see straight. But I thought I'd share with you when you want to use a twisted eye spinner bait over a round bend. Now, this is what I use the majority of the time. Just an old R-bend type spinnerbait. The wire flexes a little more. It's just universally the line won't run underneath. It's just a better thing, in my opinion. But there are some times that a twisted eye spinnerbait, like this right here, where the wire comes out, it's twisted together and then comes back out, that this is really handy. And I do specifically use these at certain times. Now, what happens is, we've all been there, is you hook a fish or two on your R-bend and it'll break right here when you're putting a lot of pressure on it, or the entire bait will just straighten completely out and you end up reeling it in with your line attached down here because it slid all the way down. And sometimes that can be a problem, and that really will hurt you when you're needing to get fish out of really heavy cover. So that's when I turn to this. If I'm fishing for fish that are in very heavy cover, like super thick, heavy wood and stuff, that I need to be able to power a fish out, kind of like almost like a flipping situation where I only have one option, and that's pull on him with all my might. Lily pads, things where you just don't have no option to keep that thing moving. When you hook a fish with a twisted eye spinnerbait, you're going to pull from right here all the time. Your wire's not going to straighten out. You're going to pull from this point right here to the hook. There's no way anything else is going to straighten out or this is ever going to come into play. And that can be really handy when fighting a good fish in heavy cover with heavy equipment. Or I've made lots of these. A lot of guys going to Mexico and stuff. This is what you want to take with you. If you're going to go deal with 8 and 10 pound bass, get you a twisted eye. You won't have near the problems with losing fish or straightening out baits or them fish just destroying it. So that's when I use one. And one other situation, and it is still around the real heavy cover thing, is lots of times on a R-bend, you throw that thing at, let's say cypress trees, and you throw that thing real hard underhand up underneath there to get it to go way up underneath there, and it hits the tree. Well, when an R-bend spinnerbait hits a tree, it just gets all whacker-jacked. I mean, like completely out of whack. It won't work right. With an R-bend, you have a lot better chance of impacting something in the bait keeping its form. This might get tweaked a little bit, but for the most part, it'll sure stay together a lot better and keep its form when you're banging it around cover and heavy stuff, more so than an R-bend. Now, you do lose a little of your vibration in the arm because you kind of constricted it a little bit here. But lots of times in that kind of cover situations, maybe it's not going to hurt you all that much. It can sure make a difference. I still use one quite a bit. Another time it works really well is if you're building baits with great big blades, like 7 and 8s, this will really help that bait work better. The R-bend will begin to wear and straighten out on you with those giant blades working against it all the time. So if you're building big wake baits or baits with big willow leaves and stuff like that with a heavy head, sometimes it's way better to go to, unless you're going to go to an extremely heavy wire. This way you can keep a lighter wire, still use your bigger blades, make this twist up here, and it'll make that bait perform for you better with those big blades. The only thing you got to watch for on these is after casting, your line's going to go up underneath here, and it's going to loop underneath. And that's what we all hate about them. It's just something you got to watch, but it'll sure help you land some fish in the bad cover and not tear up as many baits when if you go to this. So it has its disadvantages, but it also has its advantages in the correct situations. There used to be a lot more spinnerbaits with the twisted eye like this. Now they're pretty well, seems to be obsolete, it seems like. But don't forget about them. There's times you need them. Keep a few around just for that special day when you're trying to pull a big old hog out of the nastiest, gnarliest junk you've ever seen in your life. You don't want to come back with this thing straightened out straight like this and no bass. Do this and bring him in the boat. Hope that helps y'all some. Sure appreciate all of you. Thanks for all the new viewers. Holy cow, man, channel's growing like crazy. I sure appreciate all of you. I appreciate all your comments. Makes my day. We'll catch y'all next time.